Another day, another story. Our human ancestors may have lost 98.7% of their population around 900,000 to 800,000 years ago, according to genetic research. Modern humans, aka Homo sapiens, emerged about 300,000 years ago after evolving from human ancestors. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. There's a lot we still don't know about who these ancestors were and where they lived. But according to an August 2023 study, our ancestors may have come close to extinction some 900,000 to 800,000 years ago. During this period, our human ancestors lost 98.7% of their population, according to the study published in Science. The authors estimate that the reduced population had an average of 1,280 breeding individuals, and remained this diminished for over 100,000 years. Yes, our human ancestors came close to extinction at various points in their history. Throughout the evolutionary history of the Homo genus, several species faced environmental challenges, population bottlenecks, and other factors that threatened their survival. Here are a few examples. Homo erectus. Homo erectus was one of the early hominin species that lived approximately 1.9 million to 143,000 years ago. This species faced challenges due to changing climates and environmental conditions. Populations of Homo erectus likely dwindled during harsh times, but they managed to survive for a significant period. Neanderthals. Neanderthals, another branch of the human family tree, lived in Europe and parts of Asia from around 400,000 to 40,000 years ago. They faced multiple environmental challenges, including ice ages and competition with modern humans, Homo sapiens. The exact reasons for their extinction are still debated, but it's likely that a combination of factors, including climate change and competition, contributed to their decline and eventual extinction. Homo sapiens. Even our own species, Homo sapiens, faced periods of vulnerability. Genetic evidence suggests that the human population went through a significant bottleneck around 70,000 to 100,000 years ago. During this time, the global human population may have been reduced to a small number of individuals, possibly as low as a few thousand. This bottleneck could have been caused by factors like climate change, volcanic eruptions, or disease. Despite these close calls with extinction, our human ancestors managed to adapt, innovate, and disperse to different parts of the world. They developed sophisticated tools, social structures, and strategies for survival that allowed them to overcome these challenges. The ability to cooperate, communicate, and adapt to new environments has been crucial to the survival and success of our species. With such a dramatic population loss, the authors suggest that these human ancestors may have come close to extinction, noting that the number of remaining human ancestors is comparable to populations of other endangered mammals. However, other scholars have raised doubts about the strength of the study's conclusions. Extreme cooling may have led to decline. Before this dramatic population loss, human ancestors had between 58,600 and 135,000 breeding individuals, the authors estimate. So what could have caused their numbers to dwindle to 1,280, and to remain so low for over 100,000 years? They argue that a major factor may have been extreme cooling that began around 900,000 years ago, according to geologic evidence. This cooling period coincided with severe drought in Africa and the decline of other species that human ancestors may have used as a food source. To survive these changes, we believe that our ancestors must have been well united to fight against the harsh environment. Co-authors Yi Suan Pan, an evolutionary and functional genomicist at East China Normal University, and Haipeng Li, a population geneticist at the University of Chinese Academy of Sciences, said in an email. The 9 study authors, who are based in China, Italy and the United States, argue that this dramatic population decline could explain an apparent gap in the fossil record in Africa. The human ancestors whose population dropped likely lived in Africa, though some may have been in Europe. If correct, this would also mean that our human ancestors experienced a decline in genetic diversity, since there were fewer potential partners for reproduction. This may have had implications for the evolution of Homo heidelbergensis, a human ancestor that emerged around 700,000 years ago. This population decline may also have played a role in the evolution of Neanderthals and Denisovans by narrowing the genetic pool. The authors of the study came to their conclusion that human ancestors experienced a severe population bottleneck by analyzing modern genetic data from over 3,000 modern humans. They used this data to track gene variants and draw conclusions about the early evolution of human ancestors. But some in the scientific community have questioned whether the results of this research are strong enough to back up the claims. Other scholars question study results. In the same issue that Science published the new study claiming human ancestors came close to extinction, the journal also published a comment by Nick Ashton, a curator at the British Museum, and Chris Stringer, a research leader in human origins at the Natural History Museum in London, that seemed to accept the results. But others are not so convinced. This paper was met with quite a bit of skepticism within the scientific community, says Aaron Ragsdale, a population geneticist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, who was not involved with the study. There are critiques of both the methodology and interpretation of this study, he says. I would like to see these results corroborated by independent methods and for the results to be validated with different features of genetic data. If other studies are able to reproduce these results, Ragsdale says that extreme cooling is one possible explanation for why the population of human ancestors may have dropped so precipitously at this point in time. Even so, he thinks there is not enough research to make a strong argument that this population decline happened. Altogether, I think it is a stretch to conclude definitively that human ancestral populations experienced such a severe decline in actual population size for that extended period of time, he says. The last oasis. In the distant past, on the vast African savanna, a tribe of Homo erectus known as the Sunfire clan roamed the land. They were a proud and resilient people who had thrived for generations in harmony with nature. But now, they faced an unprecedented challenge, a severe and prolonged drought that threatened their very existence. For years, the once lush landscape had transformed into a barren, dusty expanse. The animals they relied upon for food and water had migrated in search of sustenance. Rivers had become mere trickles, and the once green savanna was now a parched wilderness. The Sunfire clan was down to a mere handful of members, their numbers dwindling with each passing season. Desperation filled the air, but hope flickered in the eyes of a young, determined hunter named Kala. She had a dream, a vision of a place that had been passed down through generations, the mythical last oasis. According to tribal legends, the last oasis was a hidden paradise, a lush and bountiful paradise untouched by the drought. Kala believed that if she could find it, her people might survive. Armed with a sharpened spear and guided by ancestral whispers, she set out on a perilous journey. Days turned into weeks as Kala ventured deeper into the barren wasteland. She faced fierce predators, relentless heat, and bone-chilling nights. Each step was a struggle, but she pressed on, fueled by her determination and love for her tribe. One fateful day, after a grueling journey, Kala stumbled upon a hidden valley nestled between rugged cliffs. To her astonishment, it was a small oasis, a verdant paradise untouched by the drought. The waters flowed clear and cool, and the trees bore sweet fruit. Kala rushed back to her people, her heart filled with joy. With great effort, they made their way to the last oasis, and there, they found a new home. The clan began to flourish once more, their numbers slowly growing. They learned to protect their newfound paradise and live in harmony with the land. As the generations passed, the Sunfire clan's story became a legend of survival, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. They had come dangerously close to extinction, but through courage, determination, and a bit of luck, they had found their way to a new beginning. The last oasis became a symbol of hope and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could prevail, ensuring that our ancient ancestors' legacy lived on in the thriving generations that followed. Fire keepers of the Ice Age. In the harsh grip of the last Ice Age, a small group of Homo sapiens known as the Fire Keepers struggled to survive. The world around them was a frozen wasteland, with glaciers encroaching on their territory, and the bitter cold threatening to snuff out their fragile flame of existence. Among the Fire Keepers was a young woman named Lee, who possessed an extraordinary gift. She had learned to harness the power of fire, not just for warmth and light but also as a tool for survival. Her mastery over fire made her the heart of the tribe, and they depended on her to keep the flames burning. As the years passed, the Ice Age bore down with unrelenting force. The clan's food sources dwindled, and their animal furs could barely shield them from the biting cold. It became clear that unless they found a new refuge, the firekeepers would join the long list of species lost to the icy grasp of the epic. Lee, with her unwavering determination and the wisdom of her elders, embarked on a quest to find a safer haven. With fire at her side, she led the clan through treacherous ice fields, across frozen rivers, and into the unknown. They encountered ferocious predators and struggled to find sustenance. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, Lee stumbled upon a massive ice cave deep within the glaciers. To her astonishment, the cave contained a hidden geothermal spring, a source of warmth and nourishment untouched by the relentless cold outside. It was a paradise amidst the icy desolation. The firekeepers established their new home in the cave, thriving in the company of the natural hot springs. They learned to harness the earth's warmth, cultivating primitive gardens and domesticating a few hardy animals. Lee's gift for fire became a beacon of hope and survival, allowing them to fend off predators and cook their food. Generations later, the firekeepers had not only survived but thrived. They had become masters of their icy domain, passing down the knowledge of fire and the secret of the geothermal cave from one generation to the next. Their story became a legend, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of extreme adversity. As the Ice Age gradually receded and the world warmed, the firekeepers emerged from their hidden sanctuary, their culture intact and their survival ensured. They had come perilously close to extinction but had found a way to endure, leaving an enduring legacy that would shape the future of humanity. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.